A pendulum clock keeps time by turning gravity into a repeating motion. The bob swings left and right, slows down at the ends, speeds up through the center, and repeats. But here is the surprising part. For small angles, the time for one swing does not depend on how heavy the bob is. It mainly depends on the length of the pendulum and the strength of gravity. In this video, we will see why a pendulum is closely connected to a simple harmonic motion and how to calculate the length needed for a desired period. A simple pendulum is a model of periodic motion. It consists of small particle-like bob of mass m suspended from a light string of length L. The word simple is important. It means we are making an idealized model. We assume the string is very light compared with the bob. The string does not stretch. The bob is small enough to treat like a particle and air resistance is negligible. The pendulum moves in a vertical plane. When the bob is displaced from its lowest position and released, gravity pulls it downward, and the string keeps it moving along a circular arc. This motion is closely related to simple harmonic motion, but only when the angle is small. In this course, we usually use the small angle condition that the angle should be less than about 10 degrees. Why do we need this small angle condition? Because the restoring effect from gravity is proportional to the sine of the angle. For small angles, sine of the angle is approximately equal to the angle measured in radians. That approximation makes the pendulum behave like simple harmonic motion. So the pendulum is not exactly the same as a spring mass oscillator, but for small oscillations it behaves very similarly. The motion repeats regularly and the period can be described with a simple formula. Now that we have the model, the next step is to understand the forces acting on the bob. At any point in the swing, two main forces act on the pendulum bob: tension from the string and weight from gravity. The tension force acts along the string, directed toward the pivot point. The weight acts straight downward and its magnitude is mass times gravitational acceleration. To understand the pendulum motion, we separate the weight into components. One component points along the string and the other component points tangent to the arc of motion. The tangential component of gravity is the important part for the back and forth motion. This component points toward the equilibrium position, so it acts as a restoring force. When the bob is displaced to one side, gravity has a component that pulls it back toward the center. When the bob passes the center and moves to the other side, the direction of that tangential component reverses, again pulling it back toward equilibrium. This is exactly the type of behavior we need for oscillation, a restoring force that always points back toward equilibrium. For a pendulum, the restoring force is not the tension. Tension mainly controls the circular path by pulling along the string. The restoring force for the swing is the tangential component of gravity. For small angles, this tangential restoring force becomes approximately proportional to the displacement along the arc. That is why a small angle pendulum behaves like simple harmonic motion. Once the restoring motion is identified, we can write the angular position and find the angular frequency and period. For small angle motion, the angular position of the pendulum can be described using a cosine function. In words, the angle at any time equals the maximum angle multiplied by a cosine factor that changes with time. The maximum angle is the amplitude of the angular motion, and the cosine function describes the repeated back and forth behavior. The angular frequency tells us how quickly the pendulum oscillates. For a simple pendulum, The angular frequency is determined by gravity and the length of the pendulum. A stronger gravitational field makes the pendulum oscillate faster. A longer pendulum oscillates more slowly. The period is the time for one complete cycle. For a simple pendulum, the period is 2 pi times the square root of length divided by gravitational acceleration. This equation is one of the most important results for a simple pendulum. It tells us that the period increases when the length increases. A longer pendulum takes more time to swing back and forth. It also tells us that the period does not depend on the mass of the bob. In the ideal small angle model, a heavy bob and a light bob with the same length have the same period. The period also does not depend strongly on the amplitude as long as the angle stays small. That is why the small angle condition matters so much. So when solving pendulum problems, the first question is usually, do we know the length, the period, or gravity? Then we can rearrange the period relationship to solve for the missing quantity. Now we will use this period equation to answer a practical clock question. This example shows a clock that uses a pendulum to keep time. We are asked to determine the length of a simple pendulum that swings back and forth in simple harmonic motion with a period of 1 second. Let us pause before calculating and think about what the problem is asking. The period is given and the unknown is the length of the pendulum. We are assuming the pendulum swings through a small angle, so the simple pendulum period equation applies. This is a good example because it shows how a physical design question can be turned into a physics calculation. If we want a pendulum to keep a certain time, we choose the length that gives that period. The important point is that we do not need the mass of the bob. The length and gravity determine the period in this ideal model. We also need to be careful about the meaning of period. A period of 1 second means one complete cycle of the motion from a starting point through the swing and back to the same state of motion. We start with the period equation for a simple pendulum. The period equals 2 pi times the square root of length divided by gravitational acceleration. And we can rearrange this equation to find the length. So let's first square both sides. So t square equals 4 pi square L divided by G. And now we can divide both sides by 4 pi square and multiply by G. So we get t square times G divided by 4 pi square, and that is equals to L. So we can substitute the values. L is equals to 1 seconds squared times 9.8 meters per second squared divided by 4 pi squared. And we get 0.248 meters. So a simple pendulum with a period of 1 second must have a length of about 0.248 meters, or about 24.8 centimeters, measured from the pivot point to the center of mass of the bob. Notice that the mass of the bob never entered the calculation. This is not an accident. For small angle simple harmonic motion, the period depends on the length and gravity, not on the mass. The big takeaway from this video is that a pendulum acts like simple harmonic motion only when the angular displacement is small. Gravity provides the restoring effect, and the period is controlled by the pendulum length and the local value of gravity.